Chapter 13. Time to Question. With the journal now in my possession, and with Waspinzeri and the spider on their designated parts of my body, I made my way towards where Celestia was currently at. Luna would most likely still be up, having slept through the night, which cannot have been good for her sleep schedule. I made a mental note that if I found her, I would make her go to sleep. She would put up a fight in an effort to help along with everyone else, but she has a job to do, one that Blue Blood cannot temporarily take on like Celestia's. She needed to watch over Equestria during the night, keeping everyone's dreams safe while also managing the Thestrals that roamed the land during the nighttime. Besides, with the journal and the map, there wasn't much need to search the castle for information. From one of the journal entries I had read, I knew there had to be at least another journal somewhere in Canterlot. But I had a feeling it would draw me to itself when it was time. We had enough to go on for now, so looking for the others could wait. While I was hurrying down the long hallways, I came across Blue Blood, who had been managing the day court while Celestia was busy trying to deal with the spell placed on me. While he was about to greet me, he paused and pointed out the fluffy white spider that was sitting on my head, its eyes poking out from under a few strands of hair. I simply told him that the spider was a friend, and he accepted. He had been one of the first to find out about my two changeling companions, and was strangely accepting of most species. It had confused me for a while, as when I had first seen him, he was acting like all the other snobby, racist nobles on the city who scoffed at the mere mention of a Pegasus or Earth Pony. Out of the public eye, he was actually a pretty chilled-out guy. He was actually the one who introduced me to Fancy Pants, and even equestrian graphic novels. The guy has a whole closet full of pony manga hidden away behind a secret door. Who would have thought? Anyway, he had heard what had happened and asked if he could do anything to help. I told him to find Luna and make her go to sleep, saying that if I needed his help in the future, I wouldn't hesitate to ask. He just smiled and nodded knowingly before going on his merry way. As I continued on, my thoughts went back to the dark human figure. What did it mean with that gesture? Was it saying we were connected or something? I couldn't be sure on anything, since I have yet to hear it speak a single word. All it ever did was add questions to the growing pile of questions I had about everything that was going on. At least this journal had a possibility of holding some answers. I finally reached the room where Celestia was digging through some ancient scrolls with a few of the guards. I coughed into my hand to get her attention, resulting in her head shooting up in surprise. Must have snapped her out of focus or something. She turned to me with multiple scrolls in her magic, a soft smile on her face that quickly dissolved after spotting the book that I had under my arm. Something that immediately caught my attention. She asked me where I had found the book, and I explained what had happened, figuring it could be the only clue we were looking for. I handed the book over to her, asking if she could understand any of the ancient writing. It took a moment for her to recall the language used, but she was able to understand what was said on the schematics and entries. After she had finished skimming through the book, she told me to take it to the Royal Canterlot Mages, some of the most powerful, wise, and intelligent unicorns in the world. They would have more time to analyze the writing and plans, which meant we could spend more time looking into whatever leads we had. Before I left to do as I was asked, I questioned her on her involvement with the cult and order. She looked unsure, telling me that it wasn't the time or place to discuss such a matter. Zeri whispered into my ear, quietly telling me that she could feel guilt coming off the Alicorn mare. If now wasn't the time to question her about that, then maybe I could get an answer to another question. I took my medallion out of my pocket and turned to the page with the drawing of it with the strange writing, asking her if she knew why my closest possession is depicted in a book that was at least 950 years old. I made sure to make it apparent that this wasn't just some question. It had something to do with something that I cared deeply about, and I wanted a straight answer. She said she didn't know. She said that she knew of the cult and the visions its members had. She didn't know how my sister's medallion factored into the main beliefs of the cult. But she knew that it was important to whatever it was they were trying to achieve. I couldn't find any hint of a lie. Neither could my companion, so I trusted her word. I asked why she was so hesitant to answer my questions. All she did was say it was complicated. I'm not slow. I could tell that she was feeling regret. Possible regret for supporting the cult or for something that happened which involved them. I wasn't going to get any answers here, and I wasn't about to push her for information. Instead of trying to force more info out of her, I made 2 requests. The first was that I didn't want her to hide anything from me, even if it's something that could possibly change how I see someone. This involved me probably even more so than it did her. It was my life on the line for all we knew. I did not want any secrets between us. We were supposed to be family. We were supposed to trust each other. The second request was to send me to one of the cult's temples, so I could find some answers myself.